and welcome to a brand new series of A Walk Down Chemory Lane with me, your host, Nick Soff. Every week we'll be joined by a legendary cricketer from the Cherry Tree Cricket Club who'll recall a memorable match from the past and share the details of that game with us. Tonight we're joined by none other than Mr. Consistent himself, the legend, leg end, that is Mark Hadfield, first team skipper. Good evening, Mark.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be chatting to you, Nick, and thank you for the very warm intro, although I'm not sure everyone will agree with the Mr. Consistent tag.
So, Mark, obviously we should be sitting in the club now enjoying a nice bottle of Chablis after a well-fought game of cricket on the pitch. Obviously, we all know why that can't happen, but how do you feel about that, and what are you doing to keep yourself honed and ready for when we get the all clear to get back out on the old field, eh? How are you doing?
Cricket will still be there on the other side of all of this, so I'm just trying to keep myself as cricket ready as I can, really. In terms of fitness and exercise, I've been doing a lot of HIIT sessions. They're really useful to do. You don't need any equipment, and they've had a lot of impact on my personal fitness. In terms of cricket-specific work, I haven't been doing a lot, really, although I'm planning to start hitting balls again in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you for that, Mark, thank you. Some very useful tips there, very useful indeed. Might give a couple of the old tribe. Not so sure about a hit session, though. Sounds like bloody agony. Anyway, for the real reason that you're here. So, you've been involved in some real ding-dong matches down the years at Cherry Tree, but can you recall any from this day in years gone past, down Chemory Lane?
The last game I played in this date was back in 2015 when our first 11 played at home against Aussie Emmanuel with the returning Andre Sunnick and John Baldwin, and the second 11 travelled to Fenniscoles, a pair of feisty encounters. Fantastically for us, we won both, 24 points in the bag. The second 11 had a really good day out, winning by 154 runs, and the first 11 won by 93. The seconds, Jack Woolwich put in a great display with an 82, Paul Snape hit 50, Andy Willisey with a 48, and also Jimmy Cuff cleaned up with a 6-wicket haul as well, so well done to the seconds on this date. First 11 with a 94 run win. Jack Kennedy was in the runs, got himself 60, scored, batted really well on the day, and I was fortunate in the runs as well. I managed to score 132. My highest ever score, and Farisco, our overseas man for 2015, finished up with 4 wickets to make it a really comfortable win for Cherry Tree.
Sounds like some belting fixtures. Shame I wasn't there in person to witness them. Sounds like you played a very prominent role in the first team's victory with your innings in the game. Could you give us a little bit more information about that? In particular, the sort of bowling that you faced? Can't have been up to much, eh?
To be fair, it was one of those days. Every ball they bowled seemed to burrow right into the middle of my bat. John Baldwin, one of their opening bowlers, bowled quite a few pies early on, and that really got me going. And to be honest, it just escalated from there.
Thank you for that, Mark, thank you for that. Very insightful. But after facing the young John Baldwin's bowling, how did you feel when you found out some dimwit had signed him up for Cherry?
Young John Baldwin? I didn't know two of them had signed from Oswald Twizzle for Cherry Tree. I was a bit disappointed that he'd signed, in all honesty. I was wondering where all them half volleys were going to come from when I played against Aussie, and also how my wicket count was going to go, because I'm sure I got him out most times I played against him. However, I'm only joking. I'm sure John knows that. He's an absolute champ of a cricketer and a top guy. And I just hope, in truth, this interview doesn't put his beak out of joint.
Well, I'm afraid that's all we've got time for this evening, folks, so a big thank you to Mark for joining us this evening.
It's been a pleasure to talk to such a renowned host. Thank you very much for having me.
So, that's all we've got time for this evening, folks, so make sure you join us next week when I'll be joined by another cricketing legend from Cherry Tree Club. Until then, we'll see you for a walk down Chemory Lane. Catch you on the slip side.